Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. Today we're here for the very first episode of this new interview series that I'm going to be starting. And this series, Journey to the Crown, is going to be about all of these young women who have aspired and had really big dreams and their journey to the crown in quite the literal sense. And so the series is going to give you a lot of fun conversations, amazing insights, and I'm looking forward to a lot of inspiring conversations as well. And these conversations can be heard and watched by the coming years and batches of pageant contestants. And this is a new way that I have decided that we're going to continue the conversation surrounding pageantry. Okay, I see so many comments. Hi everyone, welcome to this live. I know I'm going live after ages. The last time I did that was probably last year when two of my students were finalists, and now it's been a whole year. And today we're going to start with one of the contestants from the Femina Miss India batch of 2023. All of the contestants, by the way, this year are so amazing. And obviously, it was the toughest task for me to just go through their social medias and pick out my favorites and hot picks. And we all do that type of trend every year, with respect to whatever pageant is happening. And this time I thought, instead of making our favorites through just watching someone's social media, let's let the contestants speak for themselves and we get to know them before you actually see them on stage. And so it's just going to be a lot more intimate way of getting to know the contestants of this year. As you may have seen in the post already, the first guest for this new series that I'm beginning, Journey to the Crown, is Zanvi Sharma, our very own Femina Miss India, Sikkim 2023. Hi Zanvi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. You look amazing, by the way. I love the bangs.
Thank
And firstly, Zanvi, a huge congratulations on winning the state title of Femina Miss India Sikkim 2023. It's a huge achievement, and I wanted to congratulate you when we finally connected over video as well.
you so much.
So, for all of us, all of you watching this live episode, Janvi is a 20-year-old from Bangalore, where she's studying theatre studies as well as psychology. But I want to talk a lot more about that. And she's also a national level swimmer as well as a zonal basketball player. And that's not all, because I feel like that's already so many feathers in your cap, but that's not all. Zanvi is also been the first runner-up at Miss Teen Sikkim. And so we're going to get to know Zanvi's journey, her life story, and what brought her to Miss India again. A very warm welcome, Zanvi.
Thank you so much.
When I was, doing my research and getting to know your life story online, and I loved, how you show your personality on your social media as well. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, did you always know that you want to get into pageants? Because I know you participated in Miss Teen Sikkim, so at a very young age, that interest must have been there. But was it a very sudden thing that happened when you were a teenager, or did you always know? Because your interests, I see, have been in sports and now theater. So what was that journey like?
So when I was a kid, my, it has always been my dream to do this. My mom, she was the first Miss Sikkim. So since a kid, like I always looked up to her, and I've always like thought about my time, like I've always dreamt of doing this, and all my cousins would be like, oh, when Zanvi grows up, she's going to be Miss Sikkim too, and I'd be like, no, I'm going to be Miss Universe. I always had that attitude, and yeah, so like it's just like since a kid, I've always wanted to do this, so I'm finally doing it, and it's just so nice.
Wow, that is one hell of a story. I had no idea. Janvi shared with all of us her mother was the first Miss Sikkim. That is, so it just kind of runs in the family. I think I didn't really need to have to ask you where did pageants come from. And I really hope that you are also getting same titles and the family continues making history. So tell me one thing, having seen your mother as a pageant title holder and also having participated in a teen pageant yourself, how do you think that experience is helping you at Femina Miss India?
I think like I've come a long way. I mean, if my younger self would see me right, I would be very proud of myself because I have always thought of doing it, but now I'm actually here, and I think very motivating, and all of that has obviously helped me so much. Yeah, I mean, it's very cool.
No, are there any particular moments, that you remember very vividly, some memories that you have, that tell you that I think I was always meant to be here?
I I feel like I was I was always meant to do this. I mean, there are so many things that I want to say, but I think I am not able to portray it properly. And there are so many things I want to say and I want to be heard, but it's my mind, It's like I struggle a lot with all of this, with my confidence, and I don't find the right words to say. But I think I always had this in me, and I've always wanted to do this. So yeah.
I'm sure the platform is definitely going to give you what you've been looking for, and that is what pageants are about, that every girl and has her moment and gets to be heard. And that was the whole objective behind this series that I'm doing as well. So, okay, my next question for you is, I know you all contestants have an extremely hectic and busy schedule, because I've been hearing, the amount of shoots you've been having, the fittings. There's so much going on. I'm sure rehearsals have started as well for a couple of things. So, amidst all of this chaotic environment, because it's not something that anyone is used to, how are you able to, center yourself, or what brings you peace?
So obviously we are having a very hectic day. It's just been 6 days, and it feels like I've been so long. But yeah, I come back and I run to the shower, basically, hot shower. I I do yoga. I come back and I do yoga, which really helps me with my thoughts and my feelings because it's very overwhelming. And then I sit and I write my journal, and I just self-reflect. I see what's working, what's not working, and what I need to work on.
So I think you're doing all of the right things. In fact, I'm quite intrigued when you said yes, long showers definitely do it. After a long, long day of wearing heels, I'm sure you need that. Absolutely. And so you mentioned that you are a follower of Sadhguru. I have not personally followed him that much myself. So I would love to, hear from you. What is that one thing that you would want to share with us about Sadhguru and his teachings?
I think that he's very relatable. I mean, the things that he says and all, it's it's very relatable, and it just makes a lot of sense. And his teachings are, it's not about following a particular religion. It's not about doing something. It's very basic. Like you breathe, you introspect your own thoughts. So it's just very relatable, and I like his teachings. Like it helps me calm down a lot. So yeah, I think he's just very relatable, and the things that he says are like very simple and just very practical.
That I'm sure. I do see a lot of the young generation following Sadhguru, and I'm sure his relatability has a lot to do with it. What was that phase in life, or at what stage of life were you in when you found out about Sadhguru, and then when you really started, believing and following his teachings?
It's actually not so long. It's just been like a year or two. I mean, where I've actually started like following, because first I was like, like what is this? Like I don't want to be a part of it. Like what meditation? I'm gonna go have fun with my friends. I'm gonna do this, that. But later, I think it's just I'm like I'm just listening to him, and now I'm understanding. Actually listening to him, not just seeing what he's saying, but actually listening to the things that he's saying, and it makes a lot of sense actually. So it's not been long, but I'm still working on it. Like as you see, I'm so messed up, but I'm working on it. So I think that's what matters in the end of the day.
Um, do you think his teachings has have helped you on your journey to self-love, or where would you say you are personally when it comes to self-love?
So much. I'm a person I face a lot of problem when it comes to self-love and confidence. And even though I'm a theater student, I have had so much problems with my confidence. I get constant panic attacks, and I have so much anxiety. Like doing this, coming live, it's a very big thing for me because I hate public speaking, and I would never agree to do this. But the moment when you told me and I agreed to do this, like I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, oh my God, like I'm going live on Instagram tomorrow, and there are going to be so many people watching me, and like I was so nervous about it. But honestly, like his teachings, like when I just sit there, like right before the session started, also I did the Isha Kriya thing, and it helped me calm down a lot, a lot. So it's very useful for me.
Wow. I think that gave me goosebumps for sure, This is the type of stories that we actually want to hear, right? That confidence and courage, it's not something that you're born with.
No.
It takes a lot of hard work and pushing yourself into, uncomfortable situations, to actually develop the confidence and courage, which you are doing. I see your friends and your supporters who are also commenting. You're doing amazing, and that's all you need. Like that is how you are inspiring because you're strong enough to talk about your vulnerabilities, to talk about the real, fears that we all have. Public speaking, for instance, doesn't come easily to most of us, right? And the fact that you're not saying that, oh, I was born this way and I'm perfect already, but you're actually showing a lot of young girls who might also be very hesitant and intimidated of public speaking and being on stage, and who might think that, oh, because I have anxiety, it's not possible for me to go to Miss India. But you're proving that none of that matters if you keep pushing yourself.
Yes, yes. Just keep going. That's all I'll say, because trust me, it's not easy. No, it's not.
I'm sure it's not. In fact, I would say that makes me think, what do you think has been the biggest challenge that you've faced, you know, up till this point of life?
I think my biggest challenge is my head itself. Coming here today, 29 contestants, everybody, they're amazing, they're beautiful, they're so competent and they're strong. But for me, my biggest competition is myself. The day I let go of my head, I stopped listening to my head and I start listening to my heart. I think that's the day where I'll accomplish everything that I want. And I think I'm already doing that, because the moment I agreed to do this with you, I think, I'm letting go of all the thoughts in my head, because, I tend to overthink a lot. I'm like, oh my God, I'll go in this live and, like, what are people going to think about me? What am I going to say? Somebody's judging me or not, this and that. I think it's that, like, self-love and confidence. I think the biggest competition is yourself. And, stop listening to everything and just, it's all right. Like, we all mess up and we're like, we're all human beings. And like me, especially, like, I always tend to mess up with whatever I'm doing. But I think, someday or the other, you just have to let it go and just be there. And I guess that is the day when you actually, like, move forward and you actually grow. So, yeah.
That's why they call it following your heart, I guess, right? Because you really have to silence out all that self-doubt. And that's why we say that it's not about what you're achieving, but how far you've come. And your transformation throughout this journey is the biggest achievement, and the crown is probably a cherry on top.
Yes.
We have so many people mentioning that they're extremely proud of you, and I have to tell you, Zanvi, through everything that you're sharing, I'm sure it's relatable, like you said, with a lot of young girls. So we had a question about Sikkim, and I actually did want to talk about that. That this year's the finale is happening in Manipur, which has been, something that nobody can stop talking about. And you are from Sikkim, so tell me a little bit about that. Like when I was planning, I'm still seeing if I can make it to the finale. So if people are visiting the Northeast, I personally have never been there, so I'm looking forward to that, and we'll definitely make a trip to Sikkim as well. So coming from there, what do you think we should definitely know about Sikkim, and how would you show someone around?
I think Sikkim is an amazing place. It's an amazing place. Personally, for me, my favorite thing about Sikkim, I love rain. It's crazy the amount of rain. Like, it's crazy how much it rains in Sikkim. Most people would find it annoying, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And since a kid, like, I I have been like away from home because I was like completing my education, right? So I never stayed in Sikkim. I would only come back in the holidays and and stuff like that. And it mostly would be raining, and it brings back so many memories, like at home, all cozy with my parents there, with my brother running around, just one small happy family, and it just makes me feel so satisfied thinking about it. I need nothing else, like just being there with my mother, father, and my brother, and like, my grandma. It's just so nice. And you hear that sound like of the rain, and it's all dark and foggy outside, but people are like going on with their lives, and it's just so nice. Like, it just brings back so many memories. But honestly, like, even though like I have spent most of my time like away from home, I think Sikkim is an amazing place. It's so beautiful. The air itself is amazing. Like, the moment you cross the border, it's so fresh and like surrounded with like greenery, and like, you can feel, actually, like, I mean it, like, the moment you enter, you can feel like, the air, because I am saying this with experience, because I've stayed away. I've been to places like, I mean, Delhi and Mumbai, like right now. Okay, and like going back to Sikkim, breathing that air itself is a blessing. It's a blessing, honestly. Like, it's so nice, and like greenery all around, and birds flying, even though there is like commotion in the town and all of that, but amidst that, like, you have your own peace. It's like, if you want to see heaven, like, come to Sikkim. Like, it's beautiful,
Oh,
honestly.
wow.
Yeah, and like,
Wow.
no matter like, where I go and all, Sikkim is always going to be like obviously my heart. And I think like people there are amazing. They're very friendly, and I think like there's a lot of talent in that place. I think like, everybody has a lot to show, and for people like young people like me aspiring to do so many big things, I think like, I want to help them, and I think this is a step forward for that. So like, yeah.
Wow. I don't think I can miss Sikkim on my travel plan anymore. Because, the way you described, it's the little things that bring us happiness the most. And I do love the rain. And in fact, I was thinking when you were describing your love for the rain, and I love the way your voice, just had that happiness in it. When you talk about home, I can tell how much you miss Sikkim and miss family as well.
So much.
How was it living? How was it living in Pilani? Because I know for a fact both of us have studied in the same town, just our schools
I
and
was
colleges have
surprised
been different.
you told me that. It was actually amazing, but it was a struggle, I won't lie. Because coming from a place like Sikkim where it's cold, and then going to Rajasthan with that heat, oh my goodness. And me being a sports person that I am. Also, I marched Rajpath, I was a part of that band.
Oh wow, in Delhi on Republic Day.
Yes, yes.
Yes, the BBBP girls trained for it all year long. I remember because we could see it from our balcony, like the horse riding and
Yes,
the Rajput practice, we could see it from our rooms.
yes.
Wow.
So, like, outside all day long, and that heat, Jesus, I had so much of like allergies, and I would have all these skin problems, but I would still be running around. You see me swimming, you see me playing basketball, I would be like sweating, and I'd be all tan with allergies. I mean, it's gross, but it was fun. Really nice.
I love that. Do you feel like you're still that person?
Yes, obviously, I'm always going to be that person, no matter what.
Okay, amazing. I love that because, there's usually this, you know, persona that people think that, okay, if you're in a beauty pageant, then you would not be interested in other stuff. But I like that we can also see so many examples of you don't need to fit into a box.
Mm,
You can be multifaceted.
yeah.
Wow. So you have a lot of experience, and I'm sure, like, living through boarding schools throughout your life, like you mentioned, must have taught you a lot of discipline as well. Um, so what are those skills that you learned through boarding schools that you think are very similar to being in a pageant again? Because you're staying with girls from across the country.
So basically, I've been in hostel since grade one, till grade 12. Okay, so being from being away from home wasn't easy, obviously. Okay, and I surely miss my family a lot. But going to hostel was like I had another family there. I mean, since a kid, obviously it wasn't easy, and there was a lot of times when I actually got bullied. Right? I actually got bullied, and it really wasn't easy, because it's hard. And like I was very young, but I slowly made so many friends, and then it's like I had a family there. Also, like I love meeting people from different cultures, and there I had friends from all over the country actually, and that was very nice. But like being in hostel taught me how to be very independent and self-reliant, because you're away from your parents, and I faced a lot of problems with my feelings and everything because you have friends, but you never really know whom to trust, and you have so many things inside you, and this is why I find it very hard to express myself, because I never really expressed myself. I would be alone in the hostel, and everything that's happening, I would keep it inside of me, and there would be days when I would just be sitting and I'd start crying, and like I don't know why I'm crying. And then it's all of the things that are suppressing me inside. It just expressed, like exploding, because it has to come out in some way or the other, right? But other than that, I had amazing friends. I had amazing friends, like till today, like they're
Hello again.
my phone died. What a time. Really sorry. I've been so busy. I didn't even know my phone is about to die.
No problem, it's fine. My phone keeps dying all the time, so I know that's a problem. iPhones do run out of battery very quickly as well, I think.
Yes, yes.
They do. And I'm sure you're using your phone a lot, especially with the pageant going on. But thanks for reconnecting, actually.
Yes, obviously.
All right. So I remember we were having a very interesting conversation about Sikkim, about boarding school, like you were telling us, and there were so many comments, coming in that they are also going through the same thing. And I think that's what, again, like I said, these are the things that we want to be really talking about, which is why I'm doing this series, because sometimes you don't get the opportunity to really talk about the things that are personal to you. And this is where I want to give that opportunity that every girl gets a chance and gets to share her story in the most real and raw form. Now I know you have a very busy schedule ahead, Sanvi. So I just want you to tell us what are those three things, if you had to give people advice, that this is what I learned from my experience so far, and for everyone watching, these are three tips that I would want to share. What are those things for you?
Um, Firstly, I think always be yourself. I mean, it's something that everybody goes around saying, but how many of you are actually yourself, right? I think, that is a very important thing. And no matter like what you're doing, like, there's always going to be one person in the room that's going to judge you. Always, always. And, you might as well just be yourself then. I think that helps a lot. Like, just be yourself. Secondly, I'll say don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. For me, things never go right, like I said earlier. No matter what I do, I'll always mess up. For example, now you have the biggest example right now. I'm always messing up, like my friends know, anything that I do, I mess up. But that's the thing about me, I don't give up. No matter how much it's pushing me to the ground, I will like get up. No matter what it is, I will get up. And I think like, that is what keeps me going, and that what keeps me directed to my goals. And like no matter how many bad things are coming your way, I think universe always has that something waiting for you. So don't give up, and like give it your all, give it your 100%, and just keep going and be yourself. And thirdly, I'll say um, be grateful. Stop and just be grateful. Look how far you've come. Remember to stay grounded and very humble. I think that's very important, because once people reach a certain point, you know they develop this attitude, and they tend to be that way. But I think like you should always be humble, you should always be grounded, because at the end of the day, we're all same, and you know we're all the same, we're like one consciousness. And like just remember to be grounded and be grateful, and remember to look back, and remember to like be happy, and just like yeah, self introspect. So be yourself and don't give up, and be grateful for everything that you have and where you are standing today, and for all the people that are there around you.
That's very well summed up. And thank you so much, Zambi, for sharing, your experiences, your stories, your vulnerabilities, and also this piece of advice with all of the people watching today. You've got a lot of support, and I love how much your friends are hyping you up. You have so many beautiful cheerleaders, rooting for you for the crown, and I wish you all the very best. Just stay this way, stay the way you are. And I'm sure that you're inspiring a lot of young girls right now to and showing them that it's possible to be one of the finalists, to be at that stage, to have that platform by just being yourself as well.
You just need the courage, and that's it.
Yes, and you got a lot of it. So continue that streak, and I hope that you keep pushing yourself into uncomfortable situations. Just like today, you've done amazingly well. Zanvi, I have to tell you, it's been a really, fun conversation for me as well. We've learned so much about your family, about your past, and I am looking forward to seeing you slay for the rest of the competition as well. And yeah, keep doing great. All the very best.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you for your support.
Bye, Zanvi.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and taking out your time. And do follow me, follow Zanvi as well, and you will know that there are going to be a lot more episodes of this series as well. So just turn on your notifications so that every time I go live, you know that an interview is happening. We have quite a few guests in the lineup as well. That's all for today, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for joining again.